Okay, so it looks like we've had some participants join us today. So my name is Tassie. I'm the Assistant Human Resources Manager at NORC. And we also have Natasha. She is a Human Resources Representative at NORC. And we will be sharing about our telephone interviewer position today. So here's a brief agenda of what we will be going over. We'll talk a little bit about NORC, who we are, the data we collect. We are a research organization. Then we'll go into our telephone interviewer position. That includes what the telephone interviewers actually do, what challenges they may face, what training looks like. We'll also share about benefits, what we're doing as a response to COVID, and then your next steps in case you are interested in joining us. So NORC at the University of Chicago is an objective, nonpartisan research organization that delivers insights and analysis decision makers trust. We have main offices in downtown Chicago, as well as the University of Chicago campus. We also have a main office in the DC metro area. We have regional offices in Albuquerque, Atlanta, Boston, Sacramento, Silicon Valley, and Wichita. Today, we're going to be sharing about the job opportunities that we have in our Albuquerque office. So currently, NORC is working over 400 active projects, and all of them are going to be research-based with different main topics. We have over 3,000 staff members. We collect about 200 million plus in annual revenue, and we are a nonprofit. We have worked in about 85 plus countries in the various research projects that we've had. So NORC was started in 1941. We have been the driving force nationally for innovation in social science research, improving research quality, lowering costs of research, and opening up new areas of inquiry. We do currently partner with the Associated Press. So we have AP NORC. We do actually post some of the news articles that come about on our Facebook page. So you can definitely take a look at our Facebook page and see how they're using our research in news related topics. We also have AmeriSpeak, which is a survey dedicated just to the voices of Americans. We have True North, which is a calibration tool for research. We have the GSS survey. We have the Data Explorer within that, and we also have NORC Data Enclave. So the General Social Survey, or the GSS, is one of our most popular surveys. Anytime you see us quoted in the media, which is quite frequently, we provide a lot of data and statistics regarding different voices and different opinions that might come about, whether it be for politics, religion, age, finances. So the GSS survey actually combines a different variety of different opinions. We also have the National Social Life, Health, and Aging Project, the National Survey of Early Care and Education, the Medicare Current Beneficiary Survey. So this one is just dedicated to hearing about Medicare. We also have the Survey of Consumer Finances, which is, of course, financial related. You can hear more and read more about these surveys on our website. So most of our surveys, like I mentioned, are some of the largest and relied upon surveys. So a lot of the times when you see data in the news, it's typically coming from us. So now Natasha will take us into the telephone interviewer position.
Alrighty, guys, we're just going to have a quick little short change over here. But again, just to reintroduce myself, I am NORC's HR rep here in our local Albuquerque office. I'm going to be going over a lot of information in regards to the telephone interviewer position, some of the benefits, the incentives, that sort of thing. I know that this is probably the section where a lot of questions are going to come up. If that's the case, feel free to submit those questions and we'll take a look at them at the end of the presentation, okay? So first off, in regards to about the telephone interviewer position. So this is where our telephone interviewers talk with all kinds of people across the United States to get their different points of views. That's used for our surveys for our clients, which is usually big government agencies. So in regards to the question, what will interviewers be doing? The first thing that we want to emphasize, it's no sales involved. So it's not a sales position. We're not calling to make any sales. We're calling to talk to respondents to get data for our surveys that we have with our clients. So you'll be making a lot of outbound calls to talk to people at home, speaking with people over the phone quite frequently, right? Screening them for eligibility to see if they're right fits for our surveys. And then conducting the surveys with individuals if they are eligible, and then also answering any inbound calls in our toll-free line if that is the case or if that's applicable. So looking at who would be an ideal candidate. So we're looking at individuals from, all backgrounds, at least 18 years of age, right? We're looking for 18-year-olds and up. But again, a diverse background of candidates and diverse backgrounds of experiences, of, tenure, and also just, with their work experience. So some of our current employees include college students who are just looking for flexible hours, supplement their class schedule, right? Customer service professionals who are just looking for an opportunity to really fine tune their skills that they already have. And also teachers or other individuals that are just looking for a second job that's, that has flexible hours, part-time availability that just complements their current work schedule. So in total, our interviewers really appreciate a flexible schedule that fits their lifestyle and that their personal needs that they have going on, while at the same time contributing to really important work that contributes to discussions that go around all across the country in regards to important issues that we're having our surveys on. So what makes a good interviewer? So definitely the first thing is you gotta like to talk to people, right? That's gonna be the number one thing. We're reaching out to those households and talking to people across the US. So the ability to be polite, friendly, and professional with speaking with respondents and also coworkers, right? Using correct word pronunciations and not using slang, using expressive and confident voice when conducting surveys, being assertive and yet polite while convincing respondents to participate in a survey, administer survey questions word for word to verbatim while using conversational skills to gain cooperation, ability to use a computer to enter survey responses, and understanding that survey refusals are not personal. That being said, a lot of these skills that we're looking for, we want to keep in mind that all interviewers are required to go through on-site training. So say that you feel pretty confident about some of these things that we're asking about, but maybe need a little bit more work. That training is definitely provided to you on site and by our leadership staff. So just, to kind of give some reassurance there, okay? So some challenges in regards to the interviewer position includes, you're sitting down at a computer your entire shift. That could be a computer on site or from home, which we'll talk about a little bit later here. There are times where you're sitting at your workstation for up to 10 minutes waiting for a call, right? It just depends on what sample and what respondents that we can reach out to. During that time, talking to neighbors or, is limited to work-related conversations and are supposed to be minimal. Cell phones are also not allowed at the workstations. That's just some of our floor rules. And work can be mundane when not speaking with respondents. So we understand that. And in regards to talking to your neighbor or cell phones not being allowed on, on the floor or, at your workstation when you're working, regardless of a call coming in or not, it's just to ensure the confidentiality for our respondents and our work, and just to make sure that we're good to go there. And again, just to reiterate, although there may be some challenges to the interviewer position, you have your on-site training and will be taught strategies for, how to talk to individuals over the phone, even if they may not want to participate in the surveys, okay? So in regards to scheduling, telephone interviewers do work a minimum of 24 hours per week. So the type of shifts that an interviewer can work include, morning, afternoon, evening, it just kind of depends. and also includes the weekends. And again, this can include working on site or also working from home, which again, we'll talk a little bit more about in a minute. Some of the other scheduling requirements other than the 24 hours is interviewers must be available to work at least one shift until 8 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and a 6-hour shift on Friday or Saturday. Other than that, pretty much your schedule is very flexible. It combines your needs and also the business needs to be able to create a schedule that fits for both sides in regards to the boundaries of the projects, right? So again, we kind of touched on this a little bit, but telephone interviewers are paid for on-site training. All new hires are required to go through our on-site training that we have. It consists of general training, which lasts for 2 days, and project training, which is 4 days total. So about 6 days of training total. Typically, the first week of training is going to start up on a Friday, usually a Friday evening from 4 to 10 p.m. and then Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then project training starts the Monday following that, and that will be from Monday through Thursday, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. So those are our typical training dates and times. However, exact training dates and times are provided at the time of hire and when you receive your offer. And also your first shift outside of training will start, 1 to 2 days after successfully completing our on-site training. And that first shift can either be from home or working on site, depending on kind of your needs there and your preferences. So the benefits to being a telephone interviewer range, right? The first thing is that you do have the ability to work from home. We do have requirements to work from home, which are managed by the department, which would be your department, the telephone support survey operations. But in general, the basic requirements that we're looking at is number one, we got to complete on-site training, which we kind of talked about. Number two, we have to have access to our own phone that you can use for interviewing, which does include a cell phone, headphones, and the internet. For the internet, we got to make sure that we have at least 10 megabytes per second downloads and 5 megabytes per second for upload capabilities. If you're not quite sure if you meet those requirements with your internet, I highly recommend reaching out to your internet service provider. They'd be able to shed more light on that for you, okay? And also, in addition to that, we do require that individuals have a quiet space where they can work quietly and confidentially. That way, we just ensure the integrity and confidentiality of our data and respondents, okay? So definitely, you do have the ability to work from home, and there is a possibility that, again, you get through our on-site training, and then your first shift that you're actually working outside of training could be from home. In addition to that, we do have many opportunities for promotion and increases, especially within your first 9 months. Definitely being in HR, I can tell you that we see a lot of internal promotions happening quite a bit. Most currently, we are having internal promotions where for our quality assurance monitor positions, where you can learn more about if you come on board with us. So definitely that is a possibility. Also too, as well, you do have the ability to start contributing to a retirement plan with our retirement carrier, which is going to be TIA or TIAA. And also on the other side of that, you could be eligible for an employer contribution of up to 9.5% of your compensation put into an account for you. We do also have our employee assistance program that would be available to you 24/7. It's confidential, it's free. It's also available to your dependents once that you're on board. So it's a really great resource for any type of need that you may have, from mental health and wellness to even financial wellness. So it covers a broad range of things. So you definitely have that as a resource. Paid new hire training, which we've talked about, as well as ongoing training, right? We all, you could be put onto different projects which have different requirements, that sort of thing. And so that training is provided to you. And also work breaks. There's also incentives for our top performers. So if you are brought on board, you'll learn a little bit more about how we measure performance and productivity and attendance, that sort of thing. So individuals who are top performers on a fiscal month, they do receive incentives and rewards for that. Our referral bonus, that's a really big thing. That's where individuals can refer family and friends to work with them at NORC. And it can be up to $500 per referral. So less applicable taxes. So definitely, once that you're on board, and we meet some eligibility criteria, which will be explained more during orientation, then at that point, again, we do have the ability of $500 per person, okay? And also casual dress and friendly work environment. So it's very casual. You can come in with jeans and a t-shirt. We want everyone to be comfortable in the work environment. So definitely that is a plus. So in the age of COVID, I know that all of us are a little bit concerned of safety protocols, you know, what everyone is doing to ensure the safety of others. So definitely at NORC, we have a lot of protocols in place that we've had definitely since the beginning. So on actually in regards to COVID protocols, we have been certified as COVID safe for almost about a year now. We were one of the first organizations to get that done. So some of the protocols that we have is that leaderships will use touchless forehead thermometers to check your temperature every day. That's for every individual that comes into the building, regardless if they're an employee or vendor. Leadership will also ask if you have any COVID-19 symptoms every day. And also employees in close contact with anyone who has symptoms who are not allowed in. So we want to ensure the safety of everyone on site. Clorox wipes are provided for disinfecting your workstation. This has always been something that we've done, but definitely with COVID, it's stepped up quite a bit. Employees are issued their own headset and job aid, so you're not sharing anything with anyone. Masks are required at all time. We do require that as a company. 6 feet social distancing is enforced throughout the site. So, you know, you're not sitting right next to an individual. There's that at least at 6 feet enforced. And also there's stickers all around the site to ensure that as well. And also to ensure that as well is that we do have instant messaging capability. So if individuals don't feel comfortable getting up and talking to someone face to face, which we do encouraging instant messaging, that is an option too as well. Signage is posted throughout the site as a reminder of the protocols here and that social distancing. Every new hire goes through our safety protocol presentation, and that's actually within your first day. In addition, plexiglass has been installed throughout the entire site, so that kind of ups our safety there. And travelers, if we have any employees traveling from out of site, we do ask them to adhere to a 14-day quarantine period. So again, it is incredibly important to us that everyone feels comfortable and safe coming on site during this time. Again, we know it's a bit unusual and we appreciate everyone's patience with it. So now looking at the hiring process. So listening to us and you say, okay, I am interested in this position. What are the next steps? So right now we're currently hiring up to 100 telephone interviewers within the next month or so. So the next step would be to apply on our website. The link that you could go to reach our job posting where you can apply starts with work.matters.norc.org, which is at the bottom in orange. And also too, it's at the bottom of all of our slides, and we'll reiterate that link again. So you'll go to that website and then you'll see that on the right-hand side, there'll be a box that says current job opportunities, and where there's an option for you to view all current TSSO job opportunities. We'll click on that and then we'll just look for our telephone interviewer position. Just make sure that we're clicking on the one that's for Albuquerque, just because as Tassie explained, we do have a sister site in Wichita, Kansas. So just make sure we're looking at the Albuquerque site there. Also too as well, be sure to check your email frequently. Any updates regarding your application will be sent via email, especially because our interviews are conducted weekly over the phone. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Training classes are also being held weekly. So that's why it's very important to just kind of keep up to date with your communication and to prepare your I-9 documents. And your I-9 documents are documents that would be used to establish your citizenship to show us, you know, what your citizenship status is. We do ask to prepare that just because we are a government contractor. So we do require appropriate I-9 documentation within the first 3 days of hire to be able to continue with training with us. And so we just want to remind you that that's something that we're looking for. I also want to go back for just a moment. I apologize. It looks like it got skipped for just a second in regards to the pay. So we'll just kind of go back to the same thing and we'll just go over the pay just a little bit. Just as an FYI, currently the pay right now is a combined rate of $14 an hour, and that's for non-bilingual interviewers. So the $14 an hour does include an $11 base rate plus a $3 COVID premium rate. If you are a bilingual interviewer, then at that point, we're looking at a combined rate of $14.50 per hour. And that is $11.50 for a base rate and $3 for COVID premium rate. For our COVID premium rate, we've had that going on for the past year. We haven't heard of it changing at all, but all employees are guaranteed a 4-week notice if anything does happen to change with that COVID premium. But again, as far as that we know, we're keeping that where we're looking at $14 an hour combined rate for English interviewers, and also $14.50 for bilingual telephone interviewers right now. So again, if you are interested and would like to apply, we encourage you to go to our workthatmatters.norc.org to go ahead and submit an application. Also too, as well, you can follow us on Facebook. Like Tassie stated, we have a lot of updates there. And also too, feel free to give us a call at 505-389-4400 if you also have any questions beyond that. So we thank you for coming to our presentation here, and definitely if you have any questions, we'll go ahead and open it up now. So let's take a look here.
It does look like we have a few questions. The first one is, how long is each call interview? So that's really going to be based off of the project that you work on. If you're working NIS, which is one of our biggest projects, that can be an hour or more. It also ranges with the time the respondent has to be on the phone with you. So sometimes the interview will be cut short. That way the respondent can do what they need to do on their end, and then the interview is followed up later by another telephone interviewer. There are shorter surveys for our AmeriSpeak project. Sometimes they only have a few questions. So it really, again, kind of depends on which specific project that you're hired for.
All righty, moving on to the next question here. It looks like, what is the dress code at the call center? So it is casual. So again, you could come in wearing jeans and a t-shirt. However, we still need to have appropriate clothing at that time. So we ask that there's no obscene language or imagery on, clothing, and that also includes masks nowadays. So, but in general, it is casual. We want everyone to be comfortable while working.
Another question. So how do you apply? So like Natasha mentioned, if you go to workthatmatters.norc.org, that's going to link you over to our TSSO summary page. So it is going to discuss about the telephone interviewer position. On the top right side of the page is going to say current open positions. If you go there, it's going to actually list all of the current open positions that are within the TSSO department. So that's going to include if we have quality assurance monitors, team leads, supervisors, any other positions that might be available here in the Albuquerque location.
Okay, and it looks like we also have a question. Do I need to complete a background check? How long does that take? So if you are extended an offer of employment, part of the required paperwork is that we do ask for you to initiate a background check. It's through HireRight, so we do require that. And it just kind of depends on how long it takes for HireRight to get your information. But typically what happens is that we extend an offer of employment out on Fridays. And then there's a due date for paperwork, typically on a Tuesday. And by that deadline on a Tuesday, we just ask that your background is initiated. And that's what we need on our end there. And then once that we have that, we're able to proceed with you starting with us that upcoming Friday.
And another question is about scheduling and whether we work around school schedule. So at the start of orientation, once you're hired, you do fill out a schedule availability form. And this is where you have the opportunity to designate your open hours that you're available and willing to work. So that's where you can schedule around your work school schedule, or if you have another job, you can schedule around that. Right now we have morning, afternoon, and evening shifts. So we do have quite a variety of shifts available. And then of course, to kind of also goes into which particular project you might be working on. But yes, that's going to be up to you on how you want to set up your availability.
Right, and the only thing I'd like to add to that there for you, Lucille, is that the schedule is flexible, you know, as Tassie just described there. However, you know, we do require for our new hires to attend all dates and times of training. So definitely, if you are extended an offer of employment, take a look at your training dates and times just to make sure that we can fulfill that. Okay. Okay, let's see. So someone asked, can you give a dollar amount example a top performer will earn? Tassie, can you provide a little bit more insight to that?
So it's not like a bonus how you would generally think about. They do gift cards. We have a NORC store and get swag from NORC. So it just kind of depends on what leadership is doing for that particular month. We do select top performers every single month, and that's just their another incentive that they do get. In addition to the top performers, we also have, we recognize anniversaries for our employees. So we do also have swag for that. So that's kind of nice.
Let's see, so it looks like we got a question. I live in Las Cruces, which is in southern New Mexico. Do you believe an employee could work around that type of long travel commute? So definitely, if we get through our on-site training, again, there is a possibility that straight from training that that an individual could be working from home. So as long as we're able to get through the on-site training, I definitely think that it is a possibility that someone who's in Las Cruces would be able to work the telephone interviewer position. It's, you know, that it's easy where we can just work from home at that point.
Once you get into training, after you're hired, you will be asked several questions to ensure that that you do have the ability to work from home. One of those being the internet. So you do have to have 10 megabytes download and 5 megabytes upload at minimum for the internet. We will provide you the computer. You will have to headset and phone. The phone will be connected to our Caddy system, but it does have to have unlimited minutes. So they will ask you questions like that just to make sure that your home environment is confidential and you do have the capability to work from home. If you do, they will ensure that once you do training, you have all of the equipment ready to go for you to start working from home.
Okay, and it looks like the last question that's being asked is in regards to the number of surveys or interviews required to make per shifts. So I wouldn't say that there's a set number that has to be done. We just have to make sure, you know, once that you're hired on, you'll learn a little bit more about how our stats are calculated. So we just got to make sure that we're, you know, meeting the expectations in regards to the stats in production. But I wouldn't say that there's a set number that has to be done. Would you agree with that, Tassie?
Yeah, that's correct. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much for partnering with New Mexico Workforce Connection and for answering a lot of questions. Everybody, thank you for joining. If you have any further questions, please reach out to the ladies here at NORC, or you can call the local New Mexico Workforce Connection office. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good day.